Like, who's gonna be the sign language interpreter when Will Smith was yelling? Was gonna be doing keep your
Yo, you are an asshole.
Yeah, but I think even the deaf people heard that one.
Yo,
even the deaf people heard that one.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Heroes Peak podcast. I am your host, Chris, and I'm here with the fellas today. We're going to have a great show. We're going to talk about the Oscars. Well, that was exciting. And we're going to talk about Turning Red. And so with me today, we have Mike. How you doing, Mike?
Hey, enough of this chit-chat. I'm just here to talk about Bruno.
Hey, Bruno and Jada, stay out of your mouth.
Shit. Good one.
And James, how you doing, James?
I'm doing good. I can't believe Zack Snyder still got himself involved in the Oscars last night.
Without even getting in the theater. Holy shit.
Trash.
And finally, Keith. How you doing, Keith?
They finally succeeded in turning the Oscars into the Source Awards.
Yeah. So what happened? They relocated to Compton. Should have known better.
No, actually, I think what happened was it was a celebration of Maury Povich going off the air after decades. You didn't see behind him as they dropped a big banner for Maury Povich, and Chris Rock was supposed to say, "You're not the father." That was what was missing. There was a production issue. Otherwise, it went off without a hitch. It would look good. All right, I think we go right into the biggest news. I was sitting in bed last night. We're not watching the Oscars, not expecting to watch the Oscars because I didn't care about the Oscars. I never care about the Oscars because the Oscars doesn't care about the animation or superheroes, which is all.
Forget the fact that Heroes Peak has done 3 years now of Oscar reviews. But go ahead, Chris.
I still
Continue.
don't watch the Oscars.
Continue to our fans. Let them know.
I don't care. That's you guys' job, right? So I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden my phone's like, "Holy shit, dude! Did that just happen?" I'm like, what's going on? What could possibly happen at the Oscars that gets a holy shit? And holy shit happened. In case you're living under a rock, Will Smith.
Under a rock.
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
Chris is on fire.
Will Smith took umbrage at a light joke pointed at his wife's current medical condition, and he got up and he slapped The Rock in the face. Not The Rock. All right, Chris Rock. Let's
I'm like, whoa.
That might have been a very different.
Have done it to The Rock.
That would not have gone down.
Yeah, we got to be specific with which Rock we're talking about. Chris Rock.
Real specific.
Chris Rock thought about it for a second and went back to hosting the Oscars, and summarily, Mr. Will Smith won the Best Actor award. So I'm gonna go around the horn here. You guys gonna tell me? We'll talk about this first before we talk about the Oscars in general. James, what did you think of all the excitement? The Oscars.
So I watched the Oscars live, as I've done for the last 20 some odd years. It was sad. Serena wasn't with me in person. First time in like 10 years. So as it was happening, I thought it was staged because there was a lot of tomfoolery that was happening with the three new hosts, Amy Schumer and Wanda Sykes and Regina Hall. And it seemed like, this was like a parody of some sort. It's like, maybe some crazy stunt until the audio started cutting out. And I'm like, wait, was that real? And then the audio really went out for like a long extended time, and then you could read Will Smith's lips. So I called at the time, my wife Catherine was in the other room, and I said, I had to get somebody to come see this. I was like, you're not going to believe what just happened. I think this is real. You tell me. And I reminded her, and she watched it. She goes, I don't think that was fake. So then we caught the real time, and then we got to the point where Chris Rock was like, yeah, so that just happened, slapped the shit out of me. Let's go now to the next awards. Winner is Questlove. And we're sitting there like, so now I'm checking Twitter. I'm checking Black Twitter. I'm checking every Twitter's out there, and everybody's saying the same thing. Did that just happen for real? Like it was like the biggest moment ever in Oscars history, bigger than the Wrong Moonlight um, winning. This was like a huge thing, and it took me like a couple minutes before I really digested the event. Like when my brain started coming in. I'm like, ooh, if this is really real, this is a terrible look. Terrible look. And that was my gut reaction, Chris.
Yeah, whew, boy, did social media enjoy its time wrangling this event. Keith, let's go to you. What did you think of this happening? The
Man,
slap.
I didn't watch the Oscars. I don't watch the Oscars. Like, haven't watched the Oscars in years. Um, but I always hear about it after. It's whatever. And I watch whatever important clips on YouTube. Um, but this like last night, but last night, right? Why should I say that Oscar night? I go to sleep and I wake up the next day to 75, 80 texts. Like, the hell, did somebody pass or something?
That's 10 more than normal.
And I was like, wait, Will Smith slap Chris Rock at the Oscars. I was like, that can't be real. That can't be real. That's like, I'll say the only more widely accepted black man in America is probably Wayne Brady. There's no way.
The
There's no
classic Wayne
way.
Brady sketch.
There's no way. No way in the
Wayne
world.
Brady got a shoot.
No way in the world. You cannot get me to believe that this happened in the Oscars, the globally televised Oscars. No way.
Which was up 15% this year on global viewing, by the way.
Of course. Like, you couldn't tell me that this happened the first year. It was a all black production team and black producer. Like, this is not what happened this year. Nah, not with these guys. And then the details come out, or you see the rest of the video. Like, wait, but why was he laughing at that same joke? Like, he was obviously laughing. Like, oh, then Jada turns her face, and and Jada eye roll. Then you get mad. Oh, now you're mad because Jada's eye roll.
See, my
Oh,
initial reaction
you
was,
didn't know she would feel some type of way before looking
mm,
at her. Like, you just found out she has alopecia too. That's you.
To be
You just
fair,
found out that as well. Like,
Oh, let that keep finish, Mike. I want to hear this.
all legitimate. I don't know how close they are. I don't know how much they talk. I don't know what's
Mm.
going on. Hey,
Mm.
look. The last year and a half has shown us anything. Is that there's stuff going on with Jada that Will just don't know. Like, it's just not privy to. She'd rather tell the rest of the world before talking to him and her therapist. You know what I'm saying? But whatever. But once I saw that and that lead into the I was like, oh, that's not chivalry, that's performance.
he my initial reaction was he would rather take shit from the world for a week than shit for a decade from Pat Holmes.
For a
Right
decade,
there.
he
Right
looked at her
there.
for a decade. He looked at her. It looked like, I gotta
Shit.
ride with this chick home. I don't even want to hear her mouth. That's what it looked like.
And he
That's what it
laughed
looked
too.
like.
Like his
And
laugh makes it worse. Like it's one thing if he sat there and he was like, "Oh no, that
yeah,
wasn't
if you
cool.
were
That wasn't
straight
cool."
faced and you were brooding, and then you walked up, like, you were laughing. You were laughing along with the joke. I saw you. We all saw you, Will. He was
So
the villain of the night, but every villain has an origin story.
I,
Every villain has an origin story, and
Nice.
and 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 Jada's hands aren't dirty in the creation of aren't clean in the creation of that villain
right.
for sure.
that
Like
Like,
night,
Harley Quinn and
because
Joker, but reverse.
what he's been enduring over the last year and a half Like, I don't think that we understand that these people, like, that we're all human beings, regardless of money, celebrity, this, that, and the other. You peel all that stuff away, and psychologically, like, that's a man. Still, like he's been emasculated publicly for the last year and a half, and that was just like his gunny sack moment. Like, I got to do something. Here I am getting played again in now in broad daylight. Now I gotta do something. I got this chick looking at me, the world looking at. I gotta do something.
Yeah,
That was not him defending Jada. That was him defending pride. And that stuff, yo, man, that stuff gets people killed and locked up every day. I'm seeing women after that, like, oh, like, it's so refreshing to see a
Dude,
man.
that's the part that killed
Are
me.
you
That's the
serious?
part that I had family arguments about this.
Hang on.
That
Let me say
angered
Your
something.
me.
sons
Let
that
me say
that is
something.
chivalry, and you will set them up for failure.
The worst part of that is Tiffany Haddish, a fellow stand-up comedian, saying that Will did the right thing because she knows as a comedian that is such a bad precedent to say a comedian standing up telling jokes and getting slapped for it is okay because that shit is gonna happen to her on stage.
and you got
Well,
it. All right,
we
we
live
can
in,
talk. We can talk about the joke about whether her 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 issues, her physical issues. Yes, it sucks to be the butt of the joke,
It was a weak
especially.
joke. Let's stop it,
And,
guys. It was
Yeah,
a
it was a
weak
bad
joke.
no,
joke.
no, exactly,
Right.
exactly.
G.I. Jane.
And
Actually, that was a pretty good character to be even be connected with, and half the audience had no clue what Jet. Nobody remembers that movie.
right, right. It's okay. That's what I'm saying is as far as mean jokes go, it was relatively light, but she doesn't have to take it okay. She could be pissed for the next decade up at Chris Rock. That's fine. Like, she doesn't have to be okay with the joke. Neither does Will Smith. But the reaction has to equal the infraction. Like, he Will if Will Smith got up and did a Kanye, took the thing out of his hand and said Chris Rock is the worst comedian of all time and walked off, people would have laughed their asses off. Chris Rock would have looked whatever. That's that's how a equal tit for tat, where you make him look bad for making your girl look bad. That's what he could have done, but we can't.
if he would have went up there and did a Kanye, snatched the
Mm-hmm.
mic, like, keep my wife's name out your mouth. Perfect.
No, not even. He didn't have
You
to
a
People
get
man.
up.
would have
You a
loved
man.
it.
You know what I'm saying?
He
Like,
didn't, he didn't have to get up.
what
All
you're,
he had to do was say, "Not funny, man. Not funny." You
I
know,
mean,
and they
or
could
even
they
what?
could talk
Or
about
better
anything.
yet, wait until his turn at the mic when he's getting his award.
Right.
Oh, he
Roast
didn't
Chris
know.
Rock
I don't know
for
if they
like two
know that they
minutes.
won. Do they know? Do they know that they won ahead of
No,
No,
time?
they
no.
don't know.
No, they
So
don't.
But
that
he
he
was a
didn't. He
leading
wouldn't know.
candidate. It was either him or Denzel. He was a leading
Well,
candidate.
he did. Well, the
Yeah,
possibility could have been Denzel. If I'm going up against Denzel for an Oscar, I'm not thinking I'm getting it easy.
Well, if
Like, you know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
Like,
right.
if
oh,
it's
Yeah,
you
but
oh, it's
against Denzel, you're
Denzel.
Vegas
definitely
was
not getting an
like
Oscar.
Denzel already won. This is Will's moment.
But there's a lot of things in. There's so much stuff to unpack in that interaction in this situation that it probably take a whole episode. But Kareem Abdul-Jabbar gave probably
Yes.
the best synopsis and understanding of the situation and everything that went on there. And I feel like I hope Jada Pinkett Smith reads it, yo. I hope she
Dude,
reads.
that was that the end of the night. What he said was how I felt arguing with my sister when she was trying to say this. No, I really respect Will because he's defending his wife. That's what you would do. I hope my husband. I'm sitting there like, take a bigger picture than just a marriage between a man and woman. Look at the big picture. There's supposed to be black excellence. This whole night they relocated to Compton. Black excellence, black production team. Even Diddy was being showcased. I'm like, why is Diddy there? Like, it was the whole theme was about like excellence and the African American community in cinema and art and entertainment. And you take two of the biggest black media influences, one in comedy and one in the movies, and this
Two
is
of
what
our
came out of
cleanest,
that.
two of our cleanest stars.
Remember 4 years ago, Oscar so white. Now it's like Oscar too black.
Oscar too black.
Like,
You know, this whole thing
Mike, you don't
remind
get to
me.
laugh.
This,
Basically,
The
the
difference
question.
between support and defense is what needs to be taught to people's sons and daughters.
Well,
hmm
and also
Support your women.
again,
You don't need to physically defend them all the time. And you
and
know what I'm saying?
also
Like,
she wasn't in physical danger. Like it's one thing to get physical when physical is required to put yourself between you and a loved one's being harmed in some specific way or a continuation of being harmed. You know, I didn't think Chris Rock was going to sit there and tell a 5 minute skit all about Jada. Like that wasn't what his goal was. So you know it's crazy. And the joke before I said The Rock by accident. Would she have expected Will Smith to get up and smack Jason Momoa? You know, or right? Like just like there's a difference of Chris Rock like looks like me. Like he's standing there, the guy's like 5'6", whatever, you know, and
there are certain people he would not have done that to, and I'm not even saying for like I'm not going to question his fear of them or this, that, and the other,
right. No,
but
it's not about
fear
that,
of
but
repercussion, the
hmm
fear of repercussion would have been forefront of his mind. If that was a white comic, he wouldn't have done that.
Yeah,
And
Jim
just because
Carrey said
the
today,
fear
if
of
he had done that to
repercussion
me,
of what he's
That's what I
about to
tried to
do
say
would have
on.
stopped him.
Yeah, I tried to
Would
say
have
that
stopped
too, but
him. But it
everybody
was
was
a
jumping
black
on the
man.
same freaking
It was a
line,
black man, so he already weighed the repercussions as being nominal.
which makes it so much worse.
And belittling your woman, quietly belittling the intelligence of your woman by saying you've got to physically defend her from words because she can't mentally defend herself verbally.
Yeah.
all right.
yeah, let's
And
move
hold
on.
on, Chris, before we leave on,
Okay,
what made this
go ahead.
worse to me, because I didn't realize until the next morning, was he did the whole Oscar. He won the Oscar. He did the speech. He shout out Denzel, who he beat in the category, but also acknowledged the fact that Denzel consoled him and gave him a very poignant phrase. And then they show him at the Vanity Fair after party, getting jiggy with it, happy after all that crying and like he's pretending to be the character he played. Richard Williams was a staunch defender of his family, which by the way I didn't know till Keith actually broke down some information about that guy. It's not all what he's supposed to be in a movie, but that's a story of another day.
There was
Um,
another family first.
yeah, he was not family first. But the point is, he used all that. He was crying. He apologized to everyone except for Chris Rock. Then goes out and gets jiggy with it on camera at the party. And then the very next morning, what we see? An Instagram apology to Chris Rock. I'm like,
hmm
You
his
knew it was
Even
PR.
coming.
even when he
I
was
knew it
doing
was
that
coming.
apology, and they cut to the Williams
I knew it
family,
was
they
coming.
did not look like they were impressed at all. So not at
Yeah,
all.
yeah. There was somebody was sitting at a desk. They got a text that said, "Oh fuck! All right, I got to sit down and write an apology. I'll be back in the morning."
Yeah.
And they said his
He's like,
publicist
I'm gonna
had
have to skip the party tonight. I gotta go home and start typing.
Honestly,
right.
I, honestly, I think it was an honest. I think it was an honest
It was
apology
a
though.
it was a decent apology. Like we've seen some
I think
really
it was
bad
honest.
if you were offended apologies. Like
No, it
this was
wasn't
a
even if
much
you were
no, it
offended.
was much better than that. Yeah, yeah,
He
Yeah, it
specifically
wasn't
said,
like one of
"Chris,
those.
I was wrong.
I'm sorry you
I
guys
was
got mad at
wrong,
me.
and I was out of line." Like
Yeah,
those are facts.
yeah.
Those are
yeah.
facts.
I think my favorite quote was Jada saying everything tonight went well. It was about love. Like, all right, so why don't
You're
we
the
why don't we
rational
let
one.
let Mike tell us what happened with the rest of the Oscars? At least the more
Yeah,
interesting,
Mike, break it down for us.
the
So
more interesting big awards that went down.
so around the fight, I guess they gave out some awards to people for the night.
Yo, you know how bad it was? The in memoriam had an upbeat music
I know.
to make people feel like, hey, we're moving past this.
Yeah,
First time ever.
that was pretty
I was like,
creepy.
this Oscars is going down like the Titanic.
I know, man.
Betty White. No! Don't do that to her.
Man.
But go ahead, Mike.
Oh,
Sorry.
All right. Let's I'll quickly run through some of the winners. So we had for best picture we had Uh,
Coda.
yeah, Coda, the child of deaf adults or something, children of deaf adults.
Something. Jesus, dude.
which apparently is a remake of a French film from 2014.
Oh, I
We're
didn't
all
Why
know
doing
don't
that.
they ever
remakes.
have, why don't they ever have movies that people watch in the damn
Well,
in the
apparently
damn
Hey,
people
wait,
do.
wait, wait.
So,
But I'm sure Mike will get
Hey.
into the hashtag award that
oh,
invaded
good lord, no,
invaded
I'm
this
not
year.
talking about that. If you want to talk about that, that's on you.
I don't want to give them any more air.
All right. So, best
By the
actor.
way, hold on, Mike. Before you get off of that, there's
Uh,
another smaller controversy that got blanketed by the Wilt thing. Is so the sign language people weren't even on the stage until Coda was presented with their Oscar, and that's when they finally came in. If you watch the entire telecast, there was no signing at all to anyone. It was only when Coda
Oh
came up. So now
no!
that community is arguing, the Oscars kind of like belittle them and stuff like
Oscar
that.
so
And
deaf.
I'm like,
so
like
I
who's gonna be
so
the sign language interpreter when Will Smith was yelling? Was gonna be doing keep your
yo, you are an asshole.
Yeah, but I think even the deaf people heard that one.
Yo,
even
you
the deaf people heard that one.
you better be lucky that oh wow, yo, you're an asshole, yo. You know what times we live in? Like this is gonna live on in infamy. Like wow.
Uh,
Go ahead,
are
Mike.
they?
After Coda.
Is anyone arguing that there's like closed captioning or something, or
Well,
we did
they're
not
not
know?
arguing too loudly.
Not that
Oh,
I know of. I don't know.
You calling me a sap?
Wow, I'm so yo, I am so James, that's your fault, man. See how you wind me up? Like that was your
Yo,
fault.
don't Jada will me. Nah, man, that's on you.
Y'all need Jesus.
That's on you.
Wait,
I
Mike,
didn't
man,
send you
please,
out there to
please
go
get out
slap that dude.
your voice, man. I end up in jail.
All right. Can
I
I
didn't
move
tell
on
you to
now?
go slap him. I just
You guys,
rolled my
you guys been
eyes and you
playing
followed.
around. We are doing a show here, right?
All right, go ahead. So after Coda,
All right. So we got best actor, of course, was Will Smith, who came up and cried for like 30 minutes. Best actress, Jessica Chastain for her role as Tammy Faye, which was I thought was fantastic. I don't know if you
I didn't
guys
see
seen
it. I
that
heard it was
movie.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually just caught it was on the screen and I just sat down and watched it. I was like, oh man, it was a lot better than I thought because at first I was like, do I really want to watch a movie about Tammy Faye and her husband and how they fought? You know what I mean?
I remember those '80s. Yeah.
Performances were great. Yeah. So then we had
So, but for our fans, they care about Dune winning just about every award it was nominated
Dune won
for.
6 out of 6 awards. I think they were nominated for 10. They won 6 Academy Awards. They were nominated for Best Picture, but they didn't win. Um,
I felt like
I think
they
that
should have
worked.
got that one.
I know people are pissed.
yeah.
Everybody hates this stuff, but you can't just have like one pick, one movie just like take every award. I think that's
Why?
silly.
Hey,
Sure.
Lord of the
Why?
Rings did it. Remember when
Why?
Lord of the Rings
Why
came
not?
out? They
Haven't
won
all the time.
everything.
That thinking right there is what diffuses the whole thing. So
Are you
like
kidding?
so
Yeah.
like you're telling me now that there are some categories that other movies are just pushed
No,
into then
it didn't. I don't
like
think it.
that
Yeah, but I don't think it's. I
can't be.
rarely think that one picture is the best in every single category.
Lord of
I
the
I think
agree.
that's just
Rings.
I
rare.
agree with
Done.
you. I agree with you, but I'm just saying you cannot say that one picture because one picture can
Yes.
Yes.
take
It
everything
It
can.
very
has. It
legitimately. It
has
can.
done that. Return of the
It
King.
can. It
Except,
can.
I just think that on average, if I were to watch 10 movies, and I could probably go back and forth on cinematography on 2 or 3 movies and be like, I don't know. I mean, what?
You're
It's all just you know. I kind of like this one better anyway. That's just all. It's all voting. There's no point scored to
my
to
issue
what
is with the word can. You are 100% right. The probability is low, but it's
I
possible.
just I
It
I
makes
just think
if
people
you say can't, it actually gives
are
room
all
for
right.
for other
No,
movies
no.
to be like, oh,
Obviously the
they
possibility is
just didn't
there.
give us the clean sweep because they couldn't.
No, no. But I think like if you were to go, whoever got costumes, like to me, there's probably about 3 or 4 where you could go, yeah, yeah. Any one of them could get costumes. There's no reason to just give the one that won all of the Oscars costumes when it's all just a toss up anyway. I mean, that's the thing. This is all just like I kind of like that one slightly better.
Yeah, but yeah, costume
I don't know.
design.
This
Speaking
is
of
why
went to
award shows.
went
This
to
is why I don't watch
Dude,
award shows.
by the
I'm
way,
gonna let you
I'm gonna
know.
Yeah,
keep saying this. Return of the King won 11 out of 11 Oscar nominations, including Best Picture.
hmm
I don't even remember what it was up against,
I'm
so
just
it's
saying
not
it
like
can happen. I think the probability is very low, but like when you say in something that's supposed to be fair and open that something can't happen, that makes one think that like okay, then there's some form of
right. Yeah,
partisanship
I get that. I
going
get that.
on, and that's unfair.
No, it's not that it's unfair, but I just see the response I get from something like the Oscars is they're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it didn't win Best Director because it won the other nine, or however it run." And I'm like, "Well, that doesn't.
Oh, that's a dumb argument. Yeah,
That's a
I'm not.
bad
Yeah,
argument
that's a dumb
because there's
argument.
no guarantee that because you won these eight other production awards, which show you did a great job, means that the director was the best director of the year. That those two don't mix. Like you can't
Exactly.
automatically say they won this, so they should. I won the best
I'll,
picture,
I'll
so
agree
I was
there.
the best director. That's not how that works.
I'll agree
But
there.
it's
I just
usually the
feel like
case.
everybody in if you're listed in the category, you should have an equal chance to win. That's what I
Does
feel. Like
does
that's
the
what.
does the best director usually have the best picture? Is
Yes.
it do
No,
they usually go
no,
Yes.
no,
together?
that's not
No,
true. That's not
Yes.
you
true.
say
It
yes.
No.
is. Most of the
The
time,
Best
it is.
Picture, Best
Look
Director is not
up.
the same.
Look it up. Let's take it to the
Yes.
details.
Let's take it to details.
Ask the
You're
Google
100%,
machine.
you're 99% wrong, Mike.
I guarantee
Ask
you,
the Google machine.
The
most of the time, the best director and best picture
Eh?
are tied to the same.
Not the
To your,
Oscars. Golden Globes,
take it to your
maybe,
corner.
but not the Oscars.
To your corners, guys. Take
There
it
are
to your
only a few
corners. Hold
times
on.
where
Hold
that
on.
doesn't happen.
Man, I don't even need to look this up. I already know the
hmm
answer. I'm the one that's been watching the Oscars every year, dude.
Yeah, I watch it every year too. You're gonna tell me? Come on.
All right, so in the last so 2019 they were not the same.
hmm
In 2018 they were
Are
the
you gonna
same.
count them?
In 2017 they were not the same. In
Thank you.
2016 they were not the same.
Thank you.
So
Continue. Continue. No, no,
so
keep
we
going.
could literally go back. So um
Yeah. The only times it's closely linked is the Golden Globes. That usually is a good indicator, but not the Oscars. Nowhere
Yes.
near
Other than
majority.
that, the only other one I want to mention is best animated went to Encanto. So.
That was a lock.
hmm
yeah, it people this is where I come in. Like the animation community gets mad every year because they hate the fact that a big movie studio wins, even though honestly, like a big movie studio like Disney has the money, has the talent to
Mm.
put together
Say
a
that.
great
Say
movie.
that, Chris. They have the talent also, not
They
just the
have,
money.
yeah, they get mad because it says Disney on the title, but they hire talented people who work really hard
If
and
you're an
spend a ton
illustrator for
of time.
Disney, you're at your top of your profession.
But there's always great movies you're up against. It's this is where, as a fan of animation, as a fan of superheroes and that action movies and shit like that, this is why I don't care so much, because I love a good drama when I sit down and watch it and and I enjoy it. But like I don't need the Oscars to tell me this was the best animated movie of the year. Yeah, Encanto was good, and so was Mitchell's versus the Machines. I whatever. It's not. Neither was even my favorite of the year. So it it's weird. I know little studios, they want more recognition. They want people to call out people that aren't just the big money people. But being this is where being nominated is a solid, you know, call out to these people. Where yeah, it's hard to beat Tom Brady and the Patriots. Like you you're only gonna do it every once in a while. So it's just my thing. I don't think it's a problem, and I don't know if like the Oscars or that group of people is like they only watch Disney. There was a little extra shit online this year because apparently during the presentation they said that animation is for children and adults just endure it, which is pretty shitty to say about a medium of movies, but sure, whatever. They don't respect animation. That's why you go to the Annie Awards. The Annie Awards is the animation awards that we were just online recently. I posted a bunch of stuff on Twitter on the Annie Awards, but if you're actually interested in animation, that's where you should go. Yeah, fuck the Oscars.
Fuck the Oscars. And let's end it with the most craziest award that was given out. Best cheer moment in movie history.
Which in movie history, like look at the stuff they came up with for movie history, and I'm like, wait, isn't like Rocky running up the steps like a bigger cheer? Isn't the destruction of the whatchamacallit in
The Death Star.
the Death Star in Star Wars, isn't that a bigger cheer moment than fucking even the three Spider-Men, which let me be honest, I went to a theater, everybody freaked out when the Spider-Men were together. I get it. That's a cheer moment, you know. But picking a moment that number 1 wasn't even in theaters.
That's there you go.
And if you're gonna pick the greatest cheer moments, like I know the Matrix moment is a huge moment in cinema history, but is not a cheer moment. Like when you first saw Neo dodge bullets, you were in awe,
Yeah.
but you weren't
You were
cheering.
cheering, clapping.
You were like, "Holy shit, that's awesome!" But that's not a cheer moment. A cheer moment is the hero suddenly just like what you were expecting the hero to be, and you finally got that moment, and
Yeah,
that's
I was
you know.
I was with you. I
Go
think
ahead,
we
Mike.
we had discussed the flash moment for me in Justice League wasn't that cheer moment. I think a more powerful cheer moment was when Superman came back with the black suit and Steppenwolf was about to throw the axe down on Cyborg.
And then he blocked it.
And
Yeah,
then,
you did say
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, that was
Yeah,
like
you
more
said
of a
that. I
cheer
would
moment for me than the Flash.
I
right
think this was the
because
Oscars' attempt to try to connect with like the younger,
Hmm.
cooler demographics, and they failed miserably with that.
honestly, if I had to pick a Zack Snyder moment, I would pick Superman's first flight from Man of Steel. That's one of those. Oh shit, it's coming, and that's a really cool
The one where
moment.
he was sloppy flying, I don't know about that.
Yes, that's what he thought. Yeah, me neither.
You know, I think that's a better moment
No,
because
Hmm.
it builds to that.
no,
Okay,
No.
no. The entire Snyderverse, probably the best moment was Wonder Woman in No Man's Land.
but that's not Snyder.
I
That's
know, but
Patty
that whole
Jenkins.
era of
That
Justice
Yeah,
E
League,
but
that E
that is an awesome, amazing moment. But again, I think that's an awe moment, not a cheer moment.
when she
I think
came
it.
out of, yeah, I think that's no, when she's coming out of the steps, slow motion, and then she started slowly.
Yeah, I could see
Wait,
that. I could go with that.
what were the
Oh, the
nominees?
nominees. All
What
right,
were
so
the
real
nominees?
quick, it was the Keanu Reeves Bullet Time in the first Matrix. Then this one, Jennifer Hudson's "And I'm Telling You" song from Dreamgirls.
yeah.
Then, which would have been the winner in this category, in my opinion, the Avengers Endgame when Cap goes Avengers Assemble.
Hmm.
That
Then there was Spider Man
obviously.
No Way Home, the three
There
Spider
was
Men.
literally tears in the movie theater at that point. Yeah.
Exactly. Then there's the Spider Man moment that Chris talked about. And then the winner was when Flash went into the Speed Force
But
and the
this
Justice
is
What?
what
League.
I
Yes.
this is what I call
What?
Look at Keith's
this.
face.
It's a hashtag award because it was voted on by people hashtagging on Twitter. That was the voting process.
Yo, you know what? I would give more than that. Like the beginning of Modern Combat.
Oh,
Dun, dun,
shit.
dun, dun, dun,
I'm gonna
dun,
give.
dun, dun,
I'm gonna
dun,
give.
dun, dun.
I'm gonna give more than that one. Are
Right.
you that one?
Yeah.
If you wanted to pick from
I'll
this
never watch the
year,
No,
Oscars
Chris, you had a
again.
good
What?
one. Godzilla
Kong,
versus Kong
Kong and Godzilla, that fight when he comes down with the
with the
axe,
axe and was like
Yeah.
shooting the atomic blast.
that shit
I,
was amazing.
Hmm.
That was a great shot. Like
yo,
those things.
You know what was a dope cheer moment and it was a horrible movie. But I keep mentioning this, but this is how much I love this scene. But in I think it's Ragnarok when Thor jumps when
Oh
Thor
Yeah,
jumps
shit.
yeah, that's a good one
and the
too.
rock music starts playing and it like that. Yo, I was like,
Oh shit! And Thor also in Infinity War when he was like, "Bring me Thanos."
Yeah.
Right.
All
Yeah.
better than that. All
So
better than that damn Flash
You know what?
Flashpoint
Even
nonsense.
the first time I saw Optimus Prime in the first Transformers movie, that shit was awesome.
yeah.
That was a cheer moment because you're waiting for Optimus Prime, and the first transformation of Optimus Prime was an
Who
awesome
voted
moment.
for that? That
So
that
just
sounds
quickly, I
so.
want to add.
All of
Snyder
those
cultists.
nominees, all of
Even
Snyder
those
cultists.
nominees were
even
bigger cheer moments than that. Like that.
That's why it's a hashtag award. It's just a hashtag
even the
award.
end game selection to me, two bigger cheer moments for me was when Cap grabbed Meow Meow
Yes, Cap
and
picking up the
Meow
hammers
meow.
probably would have
Yeah,
won.
and
yeah,
and when Falcon said on your left when they
yeah.
started coming through the forest.
Shit, yeah. That's when everybody started clapping. Was when that
Yeah.
moment
Dude,
happened.
So I don't
when
understand.
whenever
Like Avengers Assemble, yeah, great moment, but I think there were bigger ones in the movie.
People already started.
when
People were already cheering before that.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because when you hear on your left and you see Black Panther, people just freak the
Right.
hell out.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
People were just like,
the Winter Soldier, that scene, that fight scene, that 3-person fight scene.
oh,
Um,
it's Civil
Civil
War.
War. Civil War.
Civil
Oh,
War. I'm sorry, that 3-person.
people or Spider Man.
Bucky,
Spider Man
Yeah. Spider
showing
Bucky.
Man's
up in
intro into
Civil
Civil
War.
War that was a good moment.
Yeah.
That shit,
Yeah.
Hey, have
dude. We
another
could come
one.
up with like 100 of these scenes.
I know we could do
Spider-Man
this all
holding
day.
Spider-Man holding the ship that was split in half together.
Yo, and going back farther, when Spider Man held the
Oh,
train.
yeah. Hold on. When Kate Winslet did that loogie to what's his name, Billy Zane in Titanic, before she got on the ship with Leo. For the ladies.
All right, we should go to break so we can talk
Yeah, for
about
the culture.
You'd rather be a whore
Turning
with
Red.
him?
Turning
Two.
Red had better cheer moments than the Flash.
Yeah. Hey,
Terminator.
quickly, James. I
Man.
just looked it up, and the current rate for Best Picture and Director tie-in win is 70%.
What?
70%. Wow.
Show me the
I
numbers. Show me
think
the homework. Show me
I'll
the
send
I
math.
you.
wonder. I wonder.
I'll Skype it to you. I'll send you the article.
Okay.
It'll
All right.
be interesting because Mike, what you said was that change in the number of movies that were available to vote on
Mm-hmm.
to see what that change percentage wise. If it was like 100% before 95, and then up until now,
Yeah.
like that. If that's such a huge shift in availability of voters.
All right.
Yeah, it's possible. All right, break
All right,
time. When we
we'll
come
be
back.
right back. All right. Welcome back, everybody. We're here to talk about Turning Red, the 2022 animated Disney, right? Not Pixar? No, Pixar movie. Disney Pixar. Um, this is the story of 13-year-old Mei Lin. And she finds out that she turns into a giant red panda whenever she gets excited. And really, it's a little adventure day in the life of once this starts to this event, this magic family event begins to happen. Um, all right, a little background is that this movie weirdly got a lot of hate online.
Yeah, can I just say I as a brown non-panda, I could not relate to this movie at all.
Wow.
All right, yeah. Well, you are Canadian, Mike, so you absolutely should have related to this. It was a requirement. I saw it in the things. It said all Canadians must turn into one kind of animal or another.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
you know why I couldn't relate to it as Canadian either? Because there was no snow on the ground.
Oh, okay. I got that now.
But go on. Yeah, no,
Mike, I think your your camera's off. By the way.
we're good. We'll just keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All
You're
right.
gonna put a big
So,
panda avatar.
yes, yeah. So it's directed by Domi Shi. She also did the story along with Julia Cho and Sarah Streicher, I think. Um, and a lot of this is based on the director's life as a young girl in Toronto, right? Toronto is the city it was based on. This is a basically 2002 Toronto. It's a real city. It's a real place. It's a real time with a little bit of magical elements to this movie, and it has received an excessive amount of hate. First, ahead of the movie's release, the art style seemed to, for some reason, really rub some people the wrong way. I'm not exactly sure why. Uh, uh, there's a style that people refer to as bean mouth, and if you look at the big wide grins, you'll see it's kind of in the shape of a bean. This is kind of a callback style. You see it in a lot of some similar to some modern kids animation, but it also is kind of a kickback, a callback to some like 80s and 90s Studio Ghibli and other anime movies. So the style isn't like brand new. It just happens to be a 3D animated version rather than hand drawn animation. Um, but anyway, it was getting a lot of hate online for that for whatever reason. But people who say they love animated movies for some reason love to hate on animated movies too. And then since its release, it got a lot of hate from a very specific crowd, and that seems to be the conservative parental crowd. And not I don't know. I don't know these people personally. It may be one person with a lot of accounts, but it seems to be a targeted specific group who hate this movie. Now, the basis of this movie, the base story, is that Maylin turns 13, and when she gets excited, she literally changes into a giant red panda. Physically changes. It's not
Hmm.
just a mental thing,
She's a
because
were panda.
she's a were panda, right? This is like Teen Wolf, guys. It's Teen Wolf in but with some cultural backstory to it, and it has set off a lot of parents because Mei Lin within her story uh, goes against her mother's wishes. She goes out when she's not supposed to. She lies to her parents to be with her friends. She kind of proves that she really starts to care a lot for her friends, and she uses them rather than her love for her parents for her own mental health. And she starts to have some feelings that you get when you start to have some changes in your life around the years, age 13, some embarrassment from her mother. All in all, it's a coming of age story, and for some reason has really set off conservatives. Now, I'm going to ask you guys, um, what did you think of it, and why do you think this seems to be so targeted or so triggering for these conservative parents?
See, I don't
Michael,
know about
start with
all
you.
that. The only what I know about the criticism was that one reviewer saying that he couldn't relate to the movie. But guess what? The movie wasn't made for you, right? So,
Yeah, that got a lot of play, but I guess as a person who follows animation Twitter and some Facebook stuff, believe me, it got a lot of conservative hate. So you don't have to speak about it. Just what did you think of the film then?
say again.
If you didn't see it, then you didn't see it. But what did you think of the film?
Oh, I thought the film was great. Pixar again. Pixar never disappoints me, right? They haven't made a bad movie in my opinion yet. This wasn't probably in my. This probably wasn't a top one for me. I got like Incredibles up there and Wally and Up. I think Up was more emotional for me than this one.
Well, because you're an old man,
Right,
right?
exactly.
Wow.
So
And loves
I can
balloons.
relate to
You're an
that
old man who
more
loves
than
balloons.
more than
So
the
you're
teenage
you're
girl.
like you're strengthening the argument because you couldn't relate to. Come on,
No,
man.
but I'm not saying I didn't like the film. That's the one thing that this reviewer was like, "Oh, this film is bad because it's not about me." I still thought that this was a
Hmm.
great movie. You know,
Hmm.
and I can see from the perspective of teenagers who can relate to this. We used to be teenagers once too. We went through this, so we have that perspective. So I don't understand what that guy was talking about. Right.
Yeah, that's called empathy, Mike,
Right.
and not
Exactly.
everybody has it.
It's
Well,
called empathy.
exactly. You're right.
All right, James, what did you think of the film overall?
Well, I didn't watch the film, so I did not do my homework. I did read the reviews, and they were,
That's
you
about
know,
it.
mostly positive. Then I read the counterculture argument about it, mostly from very conservative. You know those groups. I'm not gonna get into it. So based on that alone, I think I'm definitely gonna make some time soon to watch the movie. It sounds like it's pretty good. I'm into like weird stuff like that. Like I say, a weird panda to me, that's probably the most attractive part of this movie. Not so much the message that it's trying to tell you, which I'm sure it has a message. You guys will tell me. Um, I'm just more into quirky, weird stuff.
I
So
thought, yeah, I thought all that whole aspect of that was cool too, like the mythology of the turning into
see,
the pandas being passed down. All that
that's
stuff
what's
was
gonna
really
really intrigue
cool.
me.
Yeah,
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 and even
so
the I don't want to spoil too much for James, but they one of the things is as the daughters get older, they do a ritual to get rid of
our
the
the
flesh,
curse
panda,
our
or
hide,
whatever it's called.
yeah,
and I thought
they're
that whole thing was done well too, with the chanting and the red moon and all that stuff.
mhm.
So
Yeah, there's a cultural element. Mei Lin, I believe, I'm 100% not sure where her family is from. I don't know if it was China. I believe
yeah,
I
it was
don't know.
China
L
because
I
they were
N
speaking.
Lin. Yeah, it's
It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
Chinese
traditionally it
Okay.
is.
Um,
because they were speaking
but
Cantonese at the end.
Yeah, LIN
yeah.
traditionally is Chinese,
Yeah,
by the way.
All right. So I've said told you guys a few stories of my wonderful uh, breakout childhood where I did a lot of things I wasn't supposed to. And so
Bad
like
boy.
when I'm watching this kid and the first thing that happens after she discovers her panda, right? Um is she starts to draw kind of she's attracted to some guy who she sees who's working the counter at some depart or some store down the street, and she's drawing kind of um racy, not even really racy as far as like real rated R racy, but like racy for a 13-year-old kind of pictures about him. And you can see like her mood change, her face change, her emotions, like she's discovering this part of herself
Mm,
as she does this, right? So there's that
discovery.
thing there's that thing as a kid when you have your first attraction to somebody. Now, in this, and this is where some of this woman's the director's history comes in. Apparently, her mother really did some of these things. I don't know specifically which ones, but her mother embarrasses her several times in this movie, which is hysterical. Having a mother who has embarrassed the hell out of me once or twice, right? And so, even if I didn't have these specific experiences, even if I wasn't a 13-year-old girl, I didn't live in Toronto, all that stuff, the cultural aspects, I can understand and relate to the feelings of your first crush. I can relate to the feelings of wanting to hang out with your friends more than your parents, even though you were really close to your parents and you love your parents. But now you're like, no, I kind of I kind of want to go hang out with my friends more than this. Like that's all universal experience. I did not understand any aspect of unless you were. I'm sure there are kids that never had that. I want to get out of the house. I'm going to sneak out the window and I'm going to do what I'm not supposed to do feeling. I'm sure there are people who never had that. I definitely had those actions that I could relate to. And also, I'm a parent and I have raised 3 kids past that age. And I have dealt with kids doing that. So even looking at this mother who was overbearing and just trying to hold on and worried that her daughter was going to do the things that you find out that she kind of had some of this stuff in her past, where she disagreed with her mom and she had her red panda time, right? And as a parent, I watch my kids and I go, oh shit. I hope they don't do the same things I did. Oh shit, they're
Yeah.
doing the same things I
Or
did.
worse. But yeah.
So the interesting thing in this one though is that at first we think the mother's just being overbearing, but come to find out the mother's doing
Mm-hmm.
this because she's trying to protect, because she's been through the exact same thing with her turning into a panda herself, right? So, but
Right,
her
and so
her situation being worse and not understanding if this one would be as bad or or better. So
and this is where I think this movie is really interesting. Yes, we look at it from Maylin's perspective, the perspective of the young girl who's being embarrassed by her mom. But any parent watching that can go, "Oh shit, I've been overbearing. I've overdone. I stepped over the line too, or I've almost stepped over the line." You know, and there's a kind of a parental embarrassment to seeing that portrayed and going, "Oh shit. Did I do something like that? Did I make my kid feel that way?" Like, and I think some
we
conservative
lose
parents
Chris.
refuse that
Did
idea
he
that they
knock
could
his? Oh,
possibly
okay.
that they could possibly step over the line, right? That and that may and seeing their kid being correct. No, the kid, you don't want your kid going out because you're worried your kid's going to get hurt or whatever. You want your kid to listen to you because you're right, because you know what you're talking about. But understanding that those things, those are rites of passage for kids and rites of passage for adults and parents.
Right.
And seeing that, and there's a conversation about why didn't people yell at this when they see this in a princess movie in Beauty and the Beast or in The Little Mermaid. And my answer to that is this is in Toronto in 2002, not in a French castle in the 1500s, right?
Right.
You can step away and say, "Oh, that's just a fairy tale that doesn't involve me." That let the girl realize, whatever. Let the girl learn the lesson. This you cannot step away. This is modern. This is real type of events that can and do happen to people between parents and kids. A parent can't watch this and go, "It's just a fantasy. Don't worry, that
Hmm.
won't happen. They're
Interesting.
turning into a wizard." I think this one hits really close to home for a lot of these people going, "Oh shit, maybe I have stepped over the line." But that's me.
Yeah, I think the uproar is a bit of an overreaction, though. Still, yeah.
Oh, it absolutely is. It's a number one, it's a movie. Number
Right.
two, it's an honest story, day in the life. Outside of the red panda thing, this this is literally like a
Coming of
real
age movie. Yeah, that's it.
real event, and
Hmm.
it's no different, no worse than other ones. Again, there's a teen wolf. The whole teen wolf thing is just screaming.
Yeah,
Love it.
I do appreciate the. So, like you said, it was takes place in Toronto. It was very accurate, by the way. A lot of the
Hmm.
stores are stores you see in Toronto. They had the TTC, the trolleys going by. Uh, Good diversity that you would see in Toronto, which I like. They had
Hmm.
the security guard was sick with the turban and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
So,
he
so
was funny. He was chasing the mom
yeah,
around the
yeah.
schoolyard.
So pretty
That
accurate
was funny.
depiction. You always had the
Hmm.
CN Tower. Oh, by the way, so they the four town, the
No, so
BTS
there
band,
she
the boy
yeah,
band.
so I literally was going through that for the past 2 years with
Yeah,
my daughter being obsessed with a boy band,
Oof.
yeah.
and
Oof.
so this girl and her friends are obsessed with a group called Four Town.
Mm. By the way, so
So
they perform at the Sky Dome, which we now know as Rogers Center, but apparently, Rogers is the big telecommunications company up here, and they took it over
They
and
mhm.
bought the Skydome,
renamed
changed
it.
the name.
So yeah, so obviously they couldn't use the name, but so if you see Sky Dome and you come up here and you go, wait, Rogers Center, what? That's why.
Hey, quick question. How's the animation in this movie
So
compared to like
this is
yeah, Chris? This is for you.
so Disney. So if we split these two things, so
Mm,
style is when you see a still drawing, how it looks, the bean mouth thing, that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, So the style is very specific, and then animation, how well everything moves, the background animation.
Smooth,
Um,
dynamic. Yeah.
okay, so Disney has the money. Disney Pixar, they're always wonderful animators. They're always good at getting um, good emotion out of the characters, good smooth movement and animation. So one thing I think stuck out to me was, and this is the first time I've seen this out of a Pixar movie, and you don't normally see this out of any Western animation, is that they used a what do you call it? I have it written here. What I was trying to say. Oh, Sailor Moon or anime facial changes when characters get emotional.
Yeah, I
So
noticed that too. Yeah.
you James, you would notice it
Hmm.
as when an anime character goes cute and their eyes change and they get the glossy
Oh, they did
eyes
that in this
and
movie. Oh,
they did that. So they did the cute, the surprise, the in love,
interesting.
the so this is not something you normally see, and you could see the director and the art direction. The influences of anime on this are very heavy, um, but it has a very Western feel, but it indulges in that excessive ability to decide to say, "Hey, we want this girl to be really in love with these Four Town guys." And so when they first appear on stage, all of the four girls go with the big eyes, they're
Yeah.
glassy, they're screaming.
Yeah.
So the facial and the expression use really worked well in this context. It's not something like that's not a thing that Pixar could do in Brave, you know.
Yeah. I wouldn't.
Yeah, it wouldn't work. But because of the art style, the subject matter, the characters, the story overall, it worked really well for me. So you'll see it's got a very specific art style. All the characters are um, stylized. Very some characters are very round. Some
Hmm.
characters are very
Angular or
Yeah.
angular, tall and straight. You know, and then they allow them to be a bit overly dramatic with their movements, and it's fun. I think I like the animation. I thought was a lot of fun,
So the
and it's very specific.
one thing I noticed that my only complaint is that the backgrounds seemed a little duller than other Pixar movies, like almost like a
They
watercolor type.
Yeah, they felt very almost like a pastelly
Yeah.
wash over
Yeah.
them.
And
I think
if
that
anybody who knows Toronto knows Toronto is not pastel, that's for sure.
and I think that goes along with the whole Sailor Moon
Hmm.
kind of love letter, Studio Ghibli stuff, where um, these soft, beautiful backgrounds
Right.
can be seen in some of these things. Uh, I saw a lot of comparison to My Neighbor Totoro. Even people making My Neighbor Toronto posters
Hmm.
as a kind of a mix and match of the two.
Okay.
That also has a very giant kind of fuzzy creature as part of My Neighbor Totoro, is a classic Studio Ghibli film from the early '80s, I believe.
I kept thinking of Todoroki from My Hero Academia, but
Right. So yeah, it has all of those. It's taken all of those lessons and it's kind of brought those in, and then it takes the wonderful uh Pixar does emotion and story right. It really always
Hmm.
they always have a good job of bringing you into the character and making you feel what they do. They have smooth animation. um you know, sometimes it's difficult, and I watch a lot of anime. It's difficult to have a 3D in an anime style. Those don't always work together, but in this case, I think the animators did a great job on that front in mixing enough Western and Japanese style together to make a really cool product that
what's
is its
the
own thing.
feature length of this movie? What are we talking about? 2 hours or less?
Was
Less than
it's
that
one forty
hour.
seven.
Wow,
Mhm.
it's up there.
Yeah.
It's up there.
That's why I was surprised too how at the length when I was queuing it up. I was like, whoa, that's because I don't remember.
What's
I
that?
know at the figure they're normally about 90 minutes, right? So
Yeah,
Mhm.
give or take. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it goes. I think it uses its runtime wisely.
Hmm.
It really does. It doesn't feel like you're sitting and waiting. I didn't ever feel
No,
that.
there's always an interesting
Um,
moment going on. So
mhm.
I didn't feel
And
bored at any time watching this.
yeah, I love her. I love her friend group. I think their friend group is really fun to
Yeah, they
watch.
were.
Um,
They that's it. Goes back to the diversity of the characters I was talking
mhm,
about. It wasn't just everybody's the same type of. You know what I mean? But
mhm,
it was
mhm,
nice.
mhm.
Everybody had their own personalities, and uh, it was a good mix. So.
And then she's got a fun family. Like they have all her aunts come in,
Hmm.
and all of her aunts are very specific personality types.
Yeah, I mean, we
Which
should
I
shout
don't
out to
have.
some of the cast though, like Sandra Oh is in it.
Sandra. Oh,
Who else?
okay.
Yeah, Sandra Oh is
She's the mom.
the mom. We
Yeah,
had who else?
all right.
I thought
So
Michelle Yao was
I
in it,
don't
but
know a lot of these names. So
no.
Rosalie Shang is Mei Lin. Sandra Oh is Ming, the mom. Um, like some of these you would recognize their faces.
Right.
So
Hmm.
Grandma's voice is Wei Xing Ho, which I've seen her in movies, but
She
I couldn't place
James
what movie.
Hong, he's there. Mr. Gao.
Yeah, James
Jordan
Hong.
Fisher, who played on the Flash. Oh my God, Flash. He played Wally West. He played
yes,
Robert. I don't know who that character is.
he's one of the
He's
boy
in
band guys. Yeah.
boy band thing. Yeah, they
Yeah,
literally
Lori
made a
Tan
boy band.
Chen, very famous Asian comedian. She
Hmm.
played Tanti Chen.
Yeah, so it's one of the
Wild
aunts.
Chang
Um,
Ho. Oh, she played Madam. What's her name in the Daredevil
She run the hand.
series?
Remember? Yeah.
Yeah, the
right?
hand.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Had a pretty good cast.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, everybody was fun. Everybody
Oh,
hit
this
their
guy,
marks.
Mr. Kabowski, played by Sasha Royce, who was in Grimm. He was a detective in Grimm. The lieutenant, I
Yeah.
should say. Pretty good
Hmm.
star-studded cast. I mean,
Yeah, top to they didn't hire like Dwayne Johnson to voice somebody or anything like that, which I
or
like.
Tiffany Haddish. Ugh.
Right, exactly. No, they picked people who did good voice work, um, and lent to you felt everything that they were trying to give you. I thought it was great. All right, Mike, why don't we give grades?
Yeah, I'll start. So overall, another good job by Pixar and Disney, and props to the directors and writers. For me, this one's going to be a B+ movie. Um, decent outing for Pixar. Still not probably not one of my favorites yet. Maybe on a rewatch or something as I watch it again. So
All right, I'm actually going to give this an A, straight A. I love its uniqueness. The fact that it went with it was showing um, its roots, and like you said, the background of Toronto isn't bright and colorful and stuff like that, but they went with that because that's what worked for the movie. So they definitely went with a unique look for the characters, and since like Luca, I've really loved the smaller personal stories. This definitely felt like a very small, very personal story. Um, and so I really love that about that. Very unique. Um, even if I keep comparing it to Teen Wolf and that stuff, every story is about growing up is unique because everybody's got a different story to tell. So I really liked it. I'm going to give it an A. There you go.
cool.
So yeah, James, you'll have to let us know. You'll have
I will.
to
I'll
watch it and
definitely
let
watch
us
it
know.
this weekend for sure.
Um, my whole family watched it. They all really liked it. So maybe Eric could maybe
He's not
persuade
interested.
Eric to watch it.
I'll
He's
watch it
not
alone.
interested. It's literally his age group.
I know. Yeah, don't ask.
All right. He doesn't have his boy band
Nope.
fascination.
He did say for me not to watch Moon Knight without him, so that's
Oh, that's tonight.
Ah,
Hmm.
yeah. So I gotta
it's
wait till Friday, I guess, to watch it with him or whenever.
Friday.
Tomorrow night. Tomorrow night. Tomorrow night.
well,
Okay.
We'll be talking about that next week. Moon
Hmm.
Knight, people. Moon Knight. All right. I want to thank you guys for joining me. Hit Batman. Mike, where can
Hey,
everybody
before all
find
that,
us? Oh, go for
for
it, Jim.
those of you guys who've been watching this podcast, going back to the intro, the Oscars and the best cheering moment, please leave us in the comments what you think is
Yeah,
your
let us
best
know.
moment in movie
It doesn't.
history, the most cheer-worthy moment. Maybe not the best
Yeah.
sci-fi or best singing or best romantic interlude, best cheering moment where you felt like you had to get up and clap. I know, for example, Brooks is going to be in the NWA movie when they did the concert, Fuck the Police. She said she literally got up and clapped like it was a concert. But for those of you out there who have a different movie in mind where you felt like you had to get up or you actually did get up and clap, please leave that in the
Mhm.
comments. I'm interested to know what everyone else's take on that
Yeah,
is.
man. Seriously, I cheered more when Matt Murdock came onto the screen in No Way Home than I did when the Flash stopped time. You know, that was more impactful for me.
Wow! Oh shit! Damn.
You had me at hello.
Yeah.
He said with
All
Matt Murdock. Damn. All
All
right,
right.
but
Anyway,
yeah, go ahead.
right.
yeah. So anyway, we're on all the social medias at Heroes Peak: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell in the corner to get notifications. Share our videos, and don't forget to leave comments below. Let us know.
All right. Thanks everybody for joining us. We will see you next week.
Good night.
Later.